All right, welcome to the Traveling Milk Podcast. This is Jameson.
I'm Alex.
This is Andrew.
And I'm Rosie.
And we have a really good show for you guys today because there are 4 of us.
She's twice as many as before.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that. More.
4 is more.
More is always better. I'm going to reiterate my earlier point. Wait, did I say that more is always better?
I said more is always better.
Oh, right. And I came up with an example that more is not always better.
True.
That's right.
And I said more Cancer was better if it's your astrological sign.
Ah, right.
Which Rosie then said wasn't true.
Yeah, I disagreed with, but I don't actually have evidence to back that up with.
Yeah.
Well, her evidence is that she's female.
We're really good at horoscopes.
Yes. In fact, I've heard that it's born in your DNA. You're just good at horoscopes.
Well, it's in the stars.
Right. Which you're born under.
Exactly.
Boo.
There's our first bad joke of the day.
Many more to come.
But I don't know. Guys read their horoscopes.
I don't.
I definitely do not.
You know,
See, I do, and I'm a female, so kind of like 3 against 1.
I mean, I guess so. I am always interested in my horoscope. I don't read it and think that that's exactly what's going to happen to me today or anything like that. But I find it interesting to read. No, I don't know. I'm
so against horoscopes that whenever people talk about astrological signs around me, I just act like I don't know what they're talking about. The people will be like, "What sign are you?" And I'll be like, what?
Like stop sign?
Yeah,
Yield sign?
I guess I'm like a go sign.
You're a green light.
Yeah.
Why?
Green light.
Why are you against horoscopes?
I didn't say I was against horoscopes. I just said I don't care.
Oh, you did. You said I'm so against horoscopes.
Yeah.
I'm against them mattering.
I'm just wondering why. Like, just for the sake of initiating conversation, not me defending horoscopes.
Okay.
I just find it funny. Like,
Okay.
Why are you against them? I think that's interesting.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not against them, but I think people give a lot of over-analytical testament to them. Like, if you read them all, like, let's say you're a Libra, and it says, you will find success in your friendships and find love that you trust, some bullshit like that. And then you go and you read Cancer, and it says, today will be a successful day for you financially. Aren't those kind of like very synonymous with each other?
Well, they're written to be like that. There's this, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a style of writing, and they test it in like classrooms. And they'll read, the teacher will say, like, oh, I'm describing a very specific person in this room. I want you to stand up if you think it's you. And then he's like, oh, this person is strong-willed, but they're shy. They sometimes are deep thinkers, but also like to be out there. And so everyone thinks it's them, and like 98% of the class stands up and is like, that's me. But they all think it's specifically them. That's how horoscopes are written. They're so vague. They're just a pair of sweatpants that anyone can fit into.
Yeah, vague. I think that's the perfect word. It's like those mediums that channel ghosts. So vague. Like, okay, I'm sensing someone in the room had a parent that died within the last 3 years. Like, you're going to get at least one is playing the odds.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Okay. No, I believe that for sure.
What do you think?
There's so many personality characteristics that everybody shares. Like Alex said, I'm strong-willed, but I'm shy. Like,
Okay.
Okay, that could be me.
Or at least everyone wants to believe it's them. Like, oh, I want to believe I'm strong-willed. Like, yeah, that describes me. Because you give all these positive descriptors and like, yeah, that's me. I'm a good person at heart.
Yeah, you never hear, today you're going to be a dick to somebody you've never met before. Yeah, you're going to get in a car accident and you're going to blame the other person.
Oh, man.
Like,
that guy was definitely a Gemini.
Don't know what you're talking about.
The guy that almost ran into me yesterday.
You should elaborate on that.
Okay, yesterday I was driving home from work, and I was turning left at a stoplight, and it went yellow, and I just started to turn, and this dude who could have safely stopped at the yellow light, decided that he needed to speed up and catch the yellow light, and he literally was like feet away from me. But the worst part about it was that he looked at me and he looked at me like it was my fault. I was like, what? No, you almost killed me. I could like feel my heart in my ears. It was awful. So yeah, he was definitely a Gemini though. That's something a Gemini would do.
Yeah. Well, or maybe just something an LA driver would do.
I believe that's called a California yellow.
Where you speed up.
Yeah.
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 You're supposed to. I heard a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true, but the light stays yellow for 1 second for every 10 miles per hour that the speed limit is on that road. So if it's a 45 mile per hour speed limit on the road, the light stays yellow for 4.5. It sounds like bullshit to me, but
I believe it.
so I always like kind of count. I have this head count. Like I know if I see the light coming up and I'm like, if I don't make it to that point and it turns yellow, then I'm gonna stop before the light. But if I make it past that point, I'll be safe. I just go straight through.
It's kind of like an instinct for me when I drive. Like, I don't really play it by numbers. I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to make it. Sometimes I'll even slam on the brakes because I don't think I'm going to make it, and I probably would have. But I like to play it safe, not sorry.
Yeah. Whenever I drive with my roommate who's from Missouri, he always stops. And I'm just like, no, go, 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 go. But he just stops.
I always go depending on whether I know I can brake safely or not. Mm-hmm. So my brakes are just so awful.
True. I only speed up if there are pedestrians trying to cross. So that I will just make them lose a little bit of time, which I'm all about. In LA, I love making people lose time. Like driving 5 miles per hour under the speed limit. Just in front of some guy, just wheeling back and forth so he can't get in front of me.
Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah.
Screw you.
Well, especially like when we were in the car the other day and we were driving through West Hollywood and that guy pulled into the parking lane to get past everybody and then he merged really quickly into the lane that you're actually supposed to use.
If any cars were parked on the side of the road, he would have hit them.
Yeah.
But he just went.
Mm-hmm.
Just forces his car through everyone's life.
Well, his rush is the most important rush.
Yes, that's our motto in LA is everybody's rush is the most important rush. Sounds like everybody had pretty interesting weeks.
Yeah. I went to the last bookstore with my sister yesterday, which, if you haven't been, it's kind of cool. It's like an art exhibit and a bookstore in one thing. It's really cool, and a lot of books. And there's an entire, there's a pretty big room of just $1 books.
Oh.
I got one called The Stainless Steel Rat Wants You.
What? And who's that written by, Alex?
Henry Henderson. No, Harry Harrison.
What?
I was thinking of a different guy I saw at the bookstore.
Harry and the Hendersons?
Something like that. I don't know.
Henry's.
It's something like that.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of books, Alex turned me on to a really good book that I'm just started reading, which is called The Name of the Wind. And I'm about 130 pages in right now, and I'm a huge fantasy buff. Like Lord of the Rings is like my Bible. So I don't give a lot of testament really to modern fantasy fiction. Like I read the Aragon books and they were pretty cool, but they were kind of just a train wreck of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Not to be, pretentious, but...
No, I read the first Aragon book when I was really young, and I was like, oh, I love this, and I recently read the last one, and I thought it was the biggest piece of garbage I've ever read.
I've never even got to the third one or the fourth one. Would that be the third one?
I have no idea.
But yeah, this book's actually really good. It's got a lot of heart, and it's got an interesting style to it, which is very different than what you normally see.
Patrick Rothfuss is he is a very good storyteller. The book is, I would argue, is about the storytelling of the story, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Patrick Rothfuss. He has a beautiful beard. Yeah. You should look him up.
No relation to Patrick Patrickson?
No, actually, it is related to Patrick Patrickson.
Good.
Good.
Well, the book is... What's cool about the book to me, especially as a writer, is essentially, I won't give away any spoilers, so don't worry. It's essentially designed like a book within a book, like a book that's being written in the form of a guy telling a story within the book that the author's writing. And initially, the book that the author was writing, the actual plot, the current plots of the book, were much more engaging to me than the story that the guy was telling. But then the story actually got moving, and it's really, really good. It's very interesting, and it's really good. It's a really good read. I'd recommend it.
I think I described it to you as Ender's Game meets Lord of the Rings meets Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I think that's how roughly I would describe the plot. It's a lot different than that, but
yeah, there's a little bit of Game of Thrones there too, the Song of Ice and Fire, but it's kind of not the writing, it's the story.
yeah.
Like I love the story about spoiler free, the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the structure of the story. So yeah, it's a really good book. I recommend everybody go out and pick it up. Try it out.
We'll probably pass around my copy within this circle, and everyone will read it. It's phenomenal. He also wrote a children's book, which I hope to get one day because it's really dark and disturbing.
Good.
About this like little girl and a teddy bear, and then it gets like really sick, and she's like murdering people or something. I can't
Whoa.
remember. Yeah,
Doesn't sound very children friendly.
It gets really messed up.
And that reminds me of this comic book called The Stuff of Legend, which is it's a graphic novel about this kid who gets captured by the boogeyman, and he gets dragged into his closet, and all of his toys follow after him to try and get their kid back, and they go into this world where the boogeyman lives, where like everything is based in like there's a town based after Candyland, and they all become like real life and proportionate sizes to what their toys are. Like the teddy bear becomes a giant bear, and the toy soldier becomes a soldier, and it's really fucking good.
Cool.
It's very interesting.
So fucked up Toy Story.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. I think they're actually making it into a TV series or a movie.
I heard they're making The Name of the Wind in the King Killer Chronicle, I think it's called, into a miniseries. That's what I heard, but I keep hearing weird things about it, so I have no idea.
Nice.
I want to audition for it if it is a real thing.
What constitutes a mini series? How many series is a mini versus regular? How many episodes? 7?
Oh, it varies, but I think usually like a standard miniseries would be like 3 hour-and-a-half long episodes or something along those lines.
I think now you can do 10 episodes and have it still be technically a miniseries, but it has to end after that. If you continue on, it becomes like with Doctor Who, they do like a series every season.
Yeah.
But it keeps going, so it's a series.
Yeah.
Not a miniseries. If they had only done like 5 episodes or 10 episodes, it would be a miniseries. Like what's coming out, True Detective, I think is a miniseries.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
With Matthew McConaughey and
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, thank you.
Right.
And Sherlock.
Yeah. But that's a series.
Yeah, because they kept it going. It's not a miniseries because they have seasons.
I guess technically, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like mini seasons.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea is that like they have more than one season, or more than one series, I guess they call it at the BBC, so then it becomes a TV series.
Yeah.
Because it keeps coming back.
Load of British bullshit, if you ask me.
I know, like what they've been doing with Doctor Who recently is pretty annoying for me as a dedicated fan, where they're just like, oh, and here's an episode, and now you can't watch it until next November.
Right. But it still constitutes as a TV series.
It does, but I am very excited for Peter Capaldi as the new Doctor. I'll admit, I definitely cried at the end of the Christmas special, because I wouldn't even call it the end of the season. It just was like, here's the 50th anniversary, and then here is a Christmas episode. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I cried a lot.
I didn't cry.
I didn't either, but I'm not really emotionally invested in
Yeah.
Doctor Who like Rosie is.
Yeah, and I'm a woman. I cry at a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you cry when I drop a pencil.
It's earth-shattering.
Oh!
Hey!
Side note, Traveling Milk Podcast does not promote gender inequality or any stereotypes about women crying or liking horoscopes better than men. love all genders. Yes.
You can't believe anything you hear or read on the internet. Are you kidding me?
That's right.
I mean, it's all bullshit anyway.
I'm pretty sure I saw Abraham Lincoln was quoted as saying that.
Yes.
Of course.
I actually think that is an actual quote on the internet.
It's a meme. I don't know. I can't believe I just used the word meme.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I know it is. We should move on.
It's pretty commonplace.
It is. Isn't it in the dictionary now?
Oh no.
Pretty sure it was one of the words that was added to the... Oh, Merriam-Webster.
Bootylicious was added to the dictionary.
Oh, thank God. I was infuriated that I was kept using a word that wasn't actually a word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And of course,
Tough.
The household favorite YOLO, I think, was added.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you even have to say hashtag before it. You can just say YOLO.
Ooh.
I know.
So are acronyms now words in the dictionary? Like, I know LOL, are now pronounced LOL, is in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Lol.
Lol.
That's what it sounds like to me. The farting noise.
I can't wait until like 3,000 years in the future when the kids have like English classes and they're like, the word lolcats actually derives from the word lol, which means to laugh out loud.
And Rafflecopter is a joint of rolling on the floor laughing and helicopter.
Jimmy, can you give us an example of bootylicious? Yes, ma'am. Jenny's ass was bammin' slammin' bootylicious. Very good, Jimmy. Very good.
A+.
And then America failed, I believe is the follow-up sentence.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think Earth kind of failed.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you know, we're kind of failing Earth now, in my opinion, because of 1 week of polar vortex, people are now debunking global warming, saying that the polar vortex proves that global warming doesn't exist.
Well, the problem is that climate and weather are two very different things. But also the problem was that when it came out, the buzzword was global warming, and people latched onto that when it should be, it's global climate change. It's not global warming. It's global warming doesn't just mean it's going to get hotter. It also means we're going to have extremes in every direction.
Yeah. Well, people latch onto the scapegoat too, as a point of reference that they can kind of manipulate.
Exactly.
Because, you know, global warming has, as with many things on the internet, any amount of meanings that people want it to. Mm-hmm. Because it can, because the internet makes facts subjective now.
Yeah, and a big problem is that, unfortunately, the left, sort of extreme left wing, as the same as the right wing, latched onto this global warming term without really understanding it themselves throughout the 90s and the late 90s, especially in the early 2000s, and just like threw it in people's faces. So now you have that opposite reaction of people thinking it's bullcrap when it's not. It's something that's existed, that scientists have been researching and talking about since the 70s.
Yeah.
So it's very much a problem.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is that it becomes a political problem, but it's not a political problem. It's a human problem.
Yeah, it's not a political problem at all. And if you look, examples of everywhere, the weather has gotten so extreme over the last decade. And that's a huge part of climate change.
Yeah, and I think that you can actually attest the insane like cold wave that's hitting the rest of America, not really California. We're having insane heat right now, but everywhere else it's like it's snowing, it's freezing. I heard like New York was at 13 degrees the other day, something like that.
Places have been like 40 below.
Oh, geez.
Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
not Celsius.
No.
For our
But
think we
UK
can-
listeners.
But, you know, it's the extremes, like Andrew was saying. If things are going to get really hot, things are also going to get really cold.
it's just extreme weather patterns that are not uncommon and not unlike things we've seen over the last 100 years. They're just more extreme than we've had in history, and more extreme shifts happening rapidly, which is signs. I mean, it's not like global warming is some myth. It's just climate change is a fact of what's happening.
Right.
So the time for accepting it is kind of gone past.
I mean, what happens with the internet is anything becomes not fact. It becomes, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Like, oh, global warming, climate change is an opinion now.
Yeah.
Just like, everything else can be made into an opinion because everybody's wrong except the person who has an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody else is an idiot.
Theory of evolution is just a theory, so it's your opinion.
Yeah.
Instead of, years of scientific fact based on multiple people's research, but yeah.
I mean, what I always think about when it comes to talking about climate change, especially because I'm going to latch onto that word now, is climate change, because it's more encompassing. Mm-hmm. We're changing the climate of our Earth in so many drastic ways. Like, and the thing that people, I think, like to latch onto is the fact that, well, you can't compare it to anything else because there have never been any other sentient species on the planet who there are almost 7 billion of, who, have vehicles and carbon emissions and stuff. Like, to me, it's not just about changing the climate, it's about changing the Earth. Mm-hmm. Like, about how many animals we're making go extinct because fat families have to go out and hunt and spend their stupid dollars to go out and kill elephants. Or, like I was talking about earlier, they're issuing black rhino hunting licenses now for $350,000. People will pay it to go murder a helpless animal with a rifle that shoots grenades.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, that's how humans are changing the world, in my opinion. It's not just about it's cold out.
Oh, yeah.
There are things that we can't fight because we're fighting ourselves by destroying the wildlife that lives on this planet. And whether you believe in God or you don't, we need to start cherishing the things that live on this planet, or else we're going to be the only things that live on this planet.
Well, I think we're going to go long before the planet does, but you're right that if you kill off a predatory species that's at the top of a food chain, the amount of problems that are going to come as a result of it, the explosion of prey populations. So if you're killing off, the keystone species in a certain ecosystem, what you're doing is now setting into course of action a ton of changes that are going to adversely affect that ecosystem, which is then going to adversely affect things like climate, for example. It's all, people don't understand the minute level of change that can set in motion massive amounts of change.
Oh, absolutely. It's like if bees go extinct, which has become a huge problem. If we lose bees, we lose so many important things in the ecosystem.
Oh, everything. We can't live. We can't have food without.
Yeah, we can't have food without bees.
The number of plants they pollinate is just like up in like the thousands.
In fact, like a good thing to look up is the type of plants that you can plant in your garden or just have in potted plants outside or something, of the kinds that are really good that bees pollinate or go around. They don't just pollinate all plants. They pollinate certain plants, certain herbs. And I can't think of what they are right now, but it's something good to research. Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got people who say, no, there are more bees now than ever. It's just a conspiracy by environmentalists to say that our climate's going to change because our bees are dying. People, I mean, in my experience, humans don't want to deal with the harsh reality of what not just we've done, but what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. A big problem is that a lot of the scientific discussion goes over all of our heads, so people resort to looking at the stuff that they can't understand. I do that too. We all do that. Maybe there are higher numbers of bee populations, but what types of bees are there? Are they bumblebees? Bumblebees don't pollinate plants. Are they wasps? Wasps don't pollinate plants, right? It's a very specific type of bee that pollinates plants that allows flowers to grow, to bloom so we get food. It's just tough to say, like, to argue against pure science, especially when you don't understand what a lot of it means.
I find a problem with the internet is that we have access to all of this information, but people could just put up all of this false information, and people don't have the attention span anymore to read long articles. So we literally could know everything. We could know everything about bees, everything about the climate, but we're too lazy now because of the internet. Like we just want to read the headline, global warming is changing everything, and there's my opinion.
Yeah, what was it I saw on the internet the other day? It was a screenshot of a scientific journal. It's probably Scientific Weekly, and it was their complaint of the month. And they put the person's name underneath it, but it was, your magazine is too full of long, overly wordy scientific articles.
Jeez.
And this is in Scientific Weekly magazine. Oh, man.
Maybe
just
you
like
should subscribe to something different.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like People magazine.
Subscribe to, what was it Bill Hicks said? Like, go read Hee Haw the book. Maybe that's a little bit more up your alley.
Yeah.
No, but the amount of people out there who don't really like to think is very terrifying. In my experience, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of the internet, we also love the internet because we put out all of our material onto the internet. We want you guys to listen to it.
As much as we hate and just utterly loathe the internet, it is our lifeblood.
Truly. Listen to this and, like, go outside or something.
Yeah.
Go outside and listen to this.
Yeah, do both.
That's what I meant.
Just go sit in a park and creepily watch kids play at the park while you listen to us speak.
Don't do what Alex does.
Don't go outside if you're anywhere on the East Coast because your skin will freeze within 5
Maybe
minutes.
that, too.
If you're anywhere in America.
Yeah.
Except California.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great video. That there was a Jimmy Kimmel video today. Did you guys see that?
I did.
I did not.
Oh, it's good. He gets his cousin to go outside and interview people on the beach that are in their bikinis and stuff, and like, oh, hi everyone on the East Coast, it's so sunny, and then he pelts them with snowballs.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
One dude tried to chase him down and kick his ass.
because these are people from LA.
Yeah.
One lady even like had the nerve to say like, it's all about me. I'm on the beach.
You mean the
Something
one,
like that.
the one with the really big
The really
braids?
No, the older lady.
the older lady with the big.
She was like, "Oh, it's super cold in Chicago, but I'm here in California, and it's all about me." And she smiled, but she didn't say anything. Like, haha, just kidding.
Nope, she was being serious, and there's so much of that in LA.
Yeah.
It is all about her, though. Lay off, okay?
It was nice when he threw a snowball at her bare back.
Yeah.
Just awful.
So I believe the Golden Globes are tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh
They are.
man,
Yeah.
like, I haven't paid any attention to that.
No.
Unfortunately.
I will put up a list of the nominees, because there's one on the site, but because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But it'll be interesting to see, because by the time we post this, the awards will already have been given out, because we're recording this on Sunday. So, but yeah, I know that the only one I really care about is I hope that the 12 Years a Slave wins Best Picture.
Yes, I just watched it last night, and I was in tears. I watched it alone. I was just in tears. Yeah, it was beautiful. I immediately went home and just messaged everyone I could think of. Just, have you seen 12 Years a Slave? Go watch 12 Years a Slave. Just crying.
Yeah,
in my bed, holding myself.
It sticks with you like that.
Yeah, Rosie almost broke my hand while we were watching it, just grasping onto it. I felt like my hand was going to explode.
Huh.
It's so good, and it's so visceral.
Utterly captivating. Just
Yeah.
the feels. Like I've watched a lot of movies and documentaries and biopics on like slavery, and this one really makes you think about what it is to lose your freedom. I've always been like, oh, look how terrible that is. I would hate if that happened to me, but this puts into perspective how awful it would be to lose your freedom or to not have it in the first place. It was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a word. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And I think the problem with, if you guys will indulge me, my internet experiences with this movie, I went out and told a lot of people to go see it. And, I was just reading debates about how, like, people are still owed reprieves from slavery and people are still mad from slavery. And, I mean, I guess I'll generalize here. Like, in our culture, when people who weren't alive to experience hardships think that they deserve something, they think, obviously, they deserve something from the descendants of the people who did it to them. Like, I mean, my family's Irish, and the Irish were slaves for a long time under the English. Like, I can't imagine demanding from an English family, like, well, you owe us reprieves because 700 years ago my family was enslaved by your family. And there's a lot of hate out there, surprising amounts of hate, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess it's such a touchy subject because slavery existed in the U.S. until quite recently, relatively. Did it not? I'm not from the U.S. originally, so
1865 it was abolished.
It was abolished, yeah. But it still sort of went on under wraps a lot. It wasn't instantly abolished at that point.
I can't speak to that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So forget
I'm
that.
pretty sure it was really forced abolished, but people still ended up working on plantations. They were just paid like so little. They were still paid, but what's that word where you work on a farm for someone else and you live there?
Servitude.
Yeah, there was still a lot of that.
Okay, but then also there's that, and then also there just was the segregation that went on and all that stuff. So it's still pretty fresh in the minds of the people whose families went through this, I guess. So
it's passed down from generation to generation. Like, ignorance is not something people are born with. It's something that you inherit from your parents, and your parents inherit from their parents. Like, I think my favorite quote about about racism is by Morgan Freeman, and the interviewer asked him, how do we stop racism? And he said, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which people misinterpret, I think, a little bit, but what he really meant is stop drawing lines between people.
Yeah, his point is that you shouldn't view Morgan Freeman as a black man, per se. You should view him as a man, first and foremost. As a human being is what you should consider him. And then how can your father is a human being, your brother is a human being. You shouldn't hate those two people, and you shouldn't hate Morgan Freeman. You shouldn't hate anyone, because we're all human beings, which, is what he meant.
Absolutely. I have gasp.
We can hear your stomach.
I know. I'm sorry.
I hope our listeners can hear.
Probably
your stomach
not.
churning.
I'm a little hungry. I don't know what to say. I've eaten like a scone today.
I'm really excited for music releases this year, is what I'm really excited for. There's so much stuff that looks great that's coming out. I think the new Switchfoot album comes out in 2 days when we release this, which, I haven't listened to Switchfoot since I was a kid, but,
Oh my god, I just remembered who that is.
Yeah, everyone listened to their first album. Which blows me away. They played a song at my high school senior year, and then everyone could sing along. I was like, holy crap. Everyone knows the first album of Switchfoot, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that big hit song they had. I could not sing it to you off the top of my head, but if you played it, I would go, oh, okay, yeah, that's Switchfoot.
There's
good old Christian rock band.
Yeah.
I don't know what the draw is, and I guess I was just a little bit older when Switchfoot came out, but it was always my friends who were just a little bit younger who liked Switchfoot. I don't know.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
No, I had no idea they were a Christian rock band. I just kind of thought they were...
They're really good, in my opinion. But, Young the Giant has stuff coming out, which their music video that they posted for their new album looks beautiful and sounds so great. It sounds awesome.
Cool.
I know St. Vincent has an album coming out. She's great.
Oh, she's awesome.
Oh, someone listens.
Yeah.
She's so good. She has a new album coming out. Fun has a new album coming out eventually. Frank Ocean has an album coming out.
That he does. He also ghost wrote on a bunch of stuff on Beyonce's latest album, which obviously stormed the world.
Oh, yeah. I think that is one of the coolest things. I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce, and I've yet to listen to that album. I really want to. But that was one of the coolest things ever. She just dropped the album out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night, was it not? Just on iTunes? Yep. Yeah.
She just was like, oh, by the way, my album's up right now. And everyone was like, wait, what?
So if we're going to be working on a couple projects soon in the future. One is going to be called How the Hell Do You? And we're going to be doing several things on our YouTube channel, like How the Hell Do You Paint a Painting? And you guys will have to look forward to that. Also, we're going to be starting a a Kickstarter video for our Traveling Milk Productions as well as Ripple Road Productions by Andrew Walker and Allison Minton. These Kickstarter funds are going to be for putting out our content, shooting our content, getting our content out into festivals for equipment. So we appreciate everybody's support on those projects because we are all not very well off right now.
We need a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We started drawing up the budget for Watch, and yeah, this Kickstarter is going to be great.
Yeah.
And, hey, we're just looking for opportunities we're looking to be able to create opportunities for you local artists to bring your stuff to us, and let's work together. So donate, pitch us some ideas, whatever. That's what we're here for.
Yes. Especially because we start shooting Watch in a little more than a month. So, a few heart attacks going around the office.
So line memorization maximum time for this guy right here.
And of course, everything else by these two guys here.
Yeah.
You two are just acting.
I know.
Yeah, well.
You're just acting.
How easy is that? I just have to, say words.
Yeah. Like, God, you just have to feel. I don't know what's wrong with you.
So, in the next film we're doing, Watch, Andrew Walker and Rosie Fry are going to be acting in it. For those who are listening and can't see Chris
they have
point.
no idea.
Oh, yeah. Right. I said at the beginning of the podcast that they were on it, so.
Yeah, but it sounds like
whatever.
also me.
Whatever.
It also sounds like me, and I'm
Wait, we're not
acting.
shooting this right now?
I'm in this movie.
Yeah.
I play Andrew's girlfriend.
Woo.
And we also have Paul Perry, Anthony Barrow, maybe Mark Harley?
Barrow. I don't know.
Barrow. Anthony Barrow.
Barrow? Okay.
I said Barrow, didn't I?
You did.
Barrow.
And Monty.
And Monty Renfro, that's right,
Yes.
who round out
Fabulous
the principal cast. We just cast someone named Hilda Rowe as a small role as well. So I'm getting super excited about that. That's going to be a huge project, during which we probably won't be podcasting.
We probably won't be doing much of anything except working on Watch.
We could try and throw up a couple podcasts. I mean, we're all going to be together a lot,
But separate, too. Like, she's not coming with us when we shoot in San Francisco.
I mean, we could do a couple on-the-road podcasts giving people updates of how we're doing.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. I know I'll be constantly Facebooking because that's what I do. So
And vlog it. Video blog it.
yeah, you know what vlog means.
shameless pitch.
Not everyone does.
Rosie will also be acting, as well as Chris, and maybe even Alex, in Ripple Road's first production horror film called Dominus. So I'm excited to get started on that once Watch is done, or being close to being done. Shooting, not editing, obviously.
Because that'll take 5 years. We also, yesterday, Mr. Walker and I held auditions for another project that he and I are going to be jointly writing, which is called Love Me. Those were good auditions, but I was thinking during the middle of those auditions, like, we have so much shit to do. Why the fuck am I doing auditions for this project, too?
Because we just want to keep doing stuff.
Yeah.
So if you like what we're doing, and you want to give us some donations so we can eat.
Yeah. We'll be putting the video URL up on all of our social media outlets, so
Yeah.
keep your eyes open. We're not asking for a lot of money, but anything you give us helps at all. So, yeah.
We're going to go stand outside Trader Joe's with the Greenpeace people and just, we're going to hook people in with for the price of a coffee a day.
Oh, Lord.
You can support, well, I have a
Nice.
picture of Alex. You can support this young
man.
South African child.
We're gonna have to wait till Allison gets back though. From the Maldives or wherever she is.
She's currently climbing K2 right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Without ropes. She's just crazy. Like,
Yeah,
she's
man.
What?
no Sherpas. I know.
No Sherpas.
I know. It's crazy.
What's a Sherpa?
It's a man with a llama.
Oh.
He has to have a llama.
Oh, okay.
Oh, your climb didn't go well? You hired a Sherpa without a llama. That was your first mistake.
I mean,
I was in a play once where one of the characters was named Sherpa.
Oh, God.
And all he could say was Sherpa.
why?
I don't know. Oh my god. All right, well, I think that wraps it up today for Traveling Milk Productions podcast. I'm Jameson Jones.
I'm Alex Southard.
I'm Andrew Walker.
And I'm Rosie Fry.
And we will be at y'all next week, so stay tuned in. Thank you for your support. Good night.
Good night.
Yo.
Good night.